Thank you for joining me today. Today I thought I would show you how I drum card up what I call my plying pairs, which essentially is a coordinating dyed braid and carded bat set. These usually range around 5 to 5.5 ounces and consist of a 2-ounce braid and a 3+ ounce bat. So let's get started. I like to pre-measure out my bat contents and to put it in these little organza bags so I am ready to go. But first, let's get our entertainment going. Look at that little thing of yarn. So what happened with my headphones is I bought them and they were a little too large. So I discovered that if I use that little yarn skein in between my head and the headphones, that it works really well. The other thing I wanted to point out is that I love how I have my drum carder on this rolling cart. The drum carder itself is very heavy, so for me to push it around or move it from table to table isn't really possible. So with having it on this cart, it's just much easier for me to roll it around, pull it out when I'm going to be using it, and then push it back up against the wall when I am done. So first we'll get the ingredients out, and like I said, I like to pre-measure these out, kind of in an assembly line type situation. So I have all of my fibers weighed out. This drum carder consists of 2 motors, so I have to turn on the smaller one first and then the larger drum. And I'm going to start by putting my base fibers down, and we will just get to carding. The blend that I'm using today is a 70-30% blend with merino and bamboo. So it's 70% merino and 30% bamboo. And these are braids that I have dyed. I absolutely love dyeing this fiber. I think I've mentioned it more than once. But my favorite thing about this is that the bamboo is a different type of fiber than the merino. So what happens in that is that the white bamboo remains white and the rest of the braid will take the color. I'm also adding in this dyed bamboo. Now I did not dye this. This is commercially dyed, that nice dark teal. And I have dyed bamboo before in the past, but it's difficult to get it done and to dye it and to maintain the integrity of the bamboo where it doesn't get kind of wrinkly and crinkly and kind of weird looking. So it's just easier for me, more cost efficient, just to purchase it this way. Now, it would be great if I could actually card this fast, but I have speeded up parts of this video just so I can show you the entire process of making a bat. So if my hands look like they're going a little too quick, then they certainly are, because I'm using up the speed feature here in the video. When I'm doing the fiber prep for my drum carding, I like to pull the fiber off in less than, so anywhere between 6 and 8 inches, sometimes shorter than that. And I always kind of want to fluff it out and open it up a little bit before it goes onto the drum. The drum carder's job is to card and align these fibers the best that it can. And if you put it through in a clump, it's just going to roll through kind of as a clump on the other side, and you're going to have to continue to card it down. Now with the bamboo, there is always a lot of static with it, but I absolutely love using bamboo. So when I feed it, if I'm feeding it through the bottom drum, then I just use my little brush and pick it up and add it onto the top. So you can do it that way, or you can also feed it from the top, which I do in some of these bats that I'm making this day. I really like how this one is coming out with all of the darker colors. It really gives it a fall vibe. And what I am doing is preparing these bats for a live sale that I'll be having up this coming Sunday. So hopefully I will have all of these done, and I will have the video up as well. The white fiber that I added on is a synthetic fiber, and it's called Fire Star. It's actually kind of a sparkly fiber, and it is very soft actually. So I just kind of wanted to add it on here to add a little extra razzle dazzle to these bats, because it's been a while since I've put either an Angelina or a Fire Star mix. Once I finish carding all of the fiber, it is time to take it off. So I use this doffer pin, basically ice pick looking thing, and go along the top there to remove the bat. So this breaks it up into two pieces, and then I can grab it and pull it off a little bit at a time. Sometimes a little bit of fiber gets stuck on the drum, but I try to get off as much as I can. After I've got the bat off, I'll use my little flicker brush and pick up and try to remove any of the remaining fiber. And that way it'll be ready to go when I'm getting started on my next one. I also line it up so I can put the little cotter pin or the pin in there to hold the drum steady. And it is time now to roll this up and make it presentable. Instead of tying the bat off with some string or yarn, I like to use the braid itself, and I'll wrap it around and then pull one end of it through and kind of wrap it through once or twice more just to hold it together. And then there you've got it, an actual plying pair that is ready to go. All I need to do now is put it in the organza bag and I will weigh it and write down on a little card how much it weighs and the ingredients. Now it's time to start another one. My goal for the sale was to have 30 of these ready, and then I also plan on carding up another 30 to 50 for the Oregon Flock and Fiber Festival, which is happening in about a month. So I will just stop talking for now and let you enjoy the video. Well, it has been a long day of bat making and listening to audiobooks. So I decided that after this little mishap that I had, it should be coming up here pretty quick, that I would be ending my day and finishing this one up and calling it a night. So there we go. Thank you all if you've held on long enough to watch the video, and I hope to see you again next time. Take care. Bye.